Good morning, coaches, and welcome to the National Wake Up Call. I'm Sandy Buadana. Today's Monday, September 19th. It's almost fall this week. It's fall in Los Angeles. That means we're going to get just 1 degree cooler, but that's okay with me because it will make my pumpkin spice latte that much better tasting. Anyway, today's the 19th. Tomorrow is the 20th, and that's important for those of you that participated in Team Cup. That was the August Team Cup competition. Tomorrow is the webinar with Brendan Bouchard at 9 a.m. Pacific time. If you were on a cup team and you achieved Success Club, you earned that webinar. I'm saying that to you. And if you are listening for friends or whatever, remind people that to check their emails. The email came from Brendan Bouchard. So he is inviting you to a 90-minute webinar tomorrow. He was amazing at Summit, and he offered to do this for our Team Cup winners in the Tier 1 category. So congratulations to those of you who earned Success Club in August and were on a Team Cup team. You get that webinar with Brendan Bouchard. Check your emails. And yes, it will be recorded if you can't make it tomorrow. Okay, I'm saying that ahead of time. I want you there live because he's going to do some fun live Zoom room things that happens when it's live. So I want you there live. But if for chance you cannot make it to the live training, then there will be a replay. Okay, so that's it for me this morning. I'd like to move it over to Darren Ashby with some recognition for the week.
Hello. Good morning, Sandy. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you? Is it cooler there in Utah?
It is cooler. Last night was wonderful. Windows open, nice and cool.
Oh, I know. Windows open. So good. Okay. You and I sound like newscasters. How's the weather over there where you are?
There's a high in the mountains and a low in the valleys. And yeah, anyway. All right. Good morning, coaches. Happy Monday. It is a wonderful Monday. And you know what I'm really excited about? Leadership. Leadership is coming up. It's going to be incredible. And I think today is the day that you've got to have your guests registered. I think today is the deadline. So get on that if you haven't done it. But let's get to recognition. Here it is for this week. Congratulating our newest Diamond coaches. Here they are. Congratulations to Rebecca Aldrich, Kimberly Baker, Crystal Bosher. What if that's Bosher? Crystal Bosher? Anyway, Crystal, congratulations. Samantha Carpenter, Brianna Connor, and Angel Dingus, Sarah Hughson, Catherine Huggett, Suzette Knox, Sarah Precourt, Erica Robital, Lena Smith, and Randy Wisniewski. Congratulations, you guys. Those are our newest Diamond coaches. Fantastic. All right. Our newest 2-star Diamond coach. Congratulations to Allison Wolfram. And our newest 6-star Diamond coach. Congratulations to Kat Napolitano. Way to go, Kat, and her team, and all of you guys that moved your business forward this week. Congratulations, coaches. If you know any of these coaches, reach out to them, congratulate them, celebrate them, because that's what we do. So without further ado, I want to say, make it a fantastic week. Get ready for leadership, you guys, and let's bring on Keyshawn. Keyshawn, are you there?
What's up, Darren? Congratulations to all those coaches and those teams that were recognized today. Y'all, we have some announcements for you, and I am very excited. Last week was a busy week around here, and we just announced that there is a price reduction for the annual BOD Plus Body annual membership. The FAQ for this is FAQ 5577. This means that all total solution packs with the 12-month membership to BOD and Body have seen a price reduction. The Shakeology Best Value Pack is now $219 US. That's compared to $328 US that it used to be. And you can even use your personalized promo code with that. That will bring that total solution pack down to under $200 US. That's this month only, and that is incredible, y'all. Additionally, other total solution packs will see that similar price reduction. So that's your performance best value pack. That is your go and glow. That's all your total solution packs have now seen, with that annual bod membership, a price reduction. The price of our bod and body 12-month membership standalone has also seen a price reduction. It's now only $179 and that is compared to $298 that it used to be. And with that exciting enhancement to our ecosystem, as Carl likes to call it, you can also earn bonus Success Club points through September 30th. Ooh, the FAQ for this is FAQ 7647. We're going to be giving one bonus Success Club point for every $179 bod plus body 12-month membership that you sell. So that's 1 point for a new order or an upgrade that includes bod and body. And that means that an upgrade from your monthly body to an annual body, also that commission on that already is $72, and then you'll see that bonus Success Club point. Can we get the FAQ for that? The FAQ is 7646. And you'll also earn one additional Success Club point for every $219 total solution pack. That means that total solution pack is going to be now worth 3 Success Club points for every pack you sell, in addition to the $78+ commission that comes with. And if it's your first month earning Success Club, of course, you will also qualify for the Team Beachbody branded crossbody bag that everyone loves. And with both memberships to bod and body, that means that customers are going to get access to the very exclusive body content that complements their favorite bod programs. And so to make this even sweeter, we have some fun stuff coming up. There's value with Lift More is coming up. The FAQ for Lift Week, is FAQ 5353. This is Lift and Cycle. Again, this is only on body, and this is an extra week of more with Lift and Hit Cycle. That will keep you challenging yourself, keep the results coming. Also, if you're short on time, Joel is bringing more of the Lift Express, which is going to be hosted live now. This is 15 minutes of action-packed workouts, and he's hosting them Monday through Thursday. The kickoff week for Lift Week is happening on Joel's birthday. So what a way to celebrate his birthday, September 26th. And again, this is only happening on body. These are just the little things that are happening coming very, very soon. Another thing that's happening coming very, very soon is Autumn is bringing a healthy obsession to body. The FAQ is 7958. You guys know Autumn Calabrese. She is our wonderful creator of 80-Day Obsession and so much more, but she is bringing a little bit of 80-Day Obsession in a 4-week, what we're calling body block. And so for the first time, you're going to get a taste of that on body. And also for the first time ever in body history, we're doing hour-long workouts. But you got to make sure that you have and that you are helping your coaches and your customers also have access to their body membership, so they don't miss that when it starts on November 7th. And also coming up on body, we have the XB Sweat and Sculpt. Andrea Rogers, she is the creator of XB Sweat and Sculpt. She is starting to host her body classes this week. So listen, this is not even a quarter, a fraction of the value that you will give to your people when they make sure that they have both bod and body. So you'll want to make sure that you begin to include it in your verbiage, that you begin to include it in the way that you are presenting total solution packs. That way we get everyone signed up with both bod and body. The annual membership is the best value to make sure that they have everything that they need in order to reach their goals. And speaking of XB Sweat and Sculpt, we are starting to do our training on the champions page. The FAQ for this is FAQ 3866. Have you guys tried the sample workout? Oh my goodness, I was not ready to sculpt it like that. If you've done it, you know what move I'm talking about. I am excited for you to try it, for you to share it, and for you to also learn more about the program and with Andrea. Like I mentioned, we're starting our training on XB Sweat and Sculpt today. Today, y'all, Andrea Rogers is going to be on with us live on the Beachbody Champions page. This is on Facebook, so make sure that you request access to that page if you are not already. And Andrea is going to be joining us tonight at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on September 19th, just in case you're wondering what tonight is. Tonight. And we're going to be learning more about her, and we're also going to be learning more about this incredible program that she created, XB Sweat and Skull. So make sure that you join us. All of the recordings will live in Guide 23 if you cannot make it, but we would love to have you on live so that you can meet Andrea during our team call. This is for you, this is for your coach, this is for your team, this is for all of us here at Team Beachbody because we are one team. This is your chance to get to know her better and to ask her your burning questions that you have for her. And lastly, for the announcements, we're rocking and rolling with all this incredible stuff. What better way to jumpstart people's health and fitness to get them some of those quicker results and just making them feel better from the inside out with 3-day refresh? We are doing a surprise extension. The FAQ for that is FAQ 9976. And this is going through the end of the month, and all of the base kits are 10% off. And we just want you to encourage you to begin to add it to the share cards. If you haven't done it in a while, this might be a really good time for you to jumpstart, especially as we go into the fall season. But that is all I have for y'all today. Listen, if you have been rocking and rolling and consistent, I just want to say we see you and keep it up. If you need that pick me up to get back in, to get back started, I want you to know that we are in this together. Let's get back started today. And the cool thing is that you can get back started with the sample workout of XB Sweat and Sculpt, because there's no better program, I feel like, right now, that if you have been kind of not really going all in, not doing the things that you said you want to do in order to reach the goals that you said you have for yourself, if you're kind of missing out on the joy, if you want to smile, there is no better program right now than XB Sweat and Sculpt. So do the sample workout. Let's do this together. And with that, I'm passing it back over to Sandy so we can get to our coach speaker today.
Thank you, Keyshawn. And every single week you give us all the goods and you give us an FAQ. And I just want to share with everybody, you want to go straight to FAQs that Keyshawn announces every single week. This is faq.beachbody.com. I think you can do lower cases, but I'm saying that because people have questions about what you are announcing. It's all there in the FAQ. We have an entire team of people that write those FAQs, and any questions you have, we update those FAQs. You have it at your fingertips, faq.beachbody.com. So thank you,
Sandy. That's a great enhancement to that. So make sure that you guys do have questions. You go to the FAQ first, because chances are your answer is there. Appreciate you, Sandy.
Yeah. Also, I think I put some wrong FAQ numbers today. I was fixing them, and so it's my fault if they're wrong. But you can always do a search in that faq.beachbody.com. So anyway, thank you, Darren and Keyshawn. We are ready now for our featured coach speaker, and she's been coaching a little over 4 years. She's a 2-time elite coach. She's a 5-star diamond coach. Let me take a look here at her Success Club. She's achieved Success Club 47 months in a row. And she's from Ontario, Canada. Please welcome in Shelby Hughson. Hey, Shelby. How are you?
I'm great, thanks. How are you?
I'm good. I know you just came off of a retreat. You're feeling really good. You're back at home now?
Yes. Yep.
It's so great. You and I were working on what you were going to say this morning, and you were like, I want to get back to my people. 4 years that you've been coaching. Talk a little bit about what brought you to Beachbody, and I'll get out of the way.
Yeah, I started with Beachbody just over 4 years ago. I was 21 years old in 4th year of university, and I was that person who was the yo-yo gym goer. So I started every single Monday, and by Friday, I had fallen off. And it was at that time that I decided to join my first boot camp. I found my coach on social media, and I was that person who was the silent stalker. I never followed her. I never liked any of her posts, but I watched and I sat on the sidelines. And as I was going through that process of being the yo-yo gym goer, I saw her finishing program after program and getting results. So one day I messaged her, and I was that unicorn that said, sign me up. Whatever you're doing, sign me up. Once I got started, I was on day 14 of my 21-day fix, which was my first program, when I knew that there were people in my life who needed this and needed to feel this way as much as I did. It was because my coach shared consistently on social media, not just the boot camps, but the coaching opportunity as well, that I knew there was a business opportunity here. So once again, I messaged her and I said, how do I do what you do? I got started as a coach, and it was right around the time of Summit. So 2 weeks into coaching, I piled into a car full of strangers and drove 8 hours to Summit, which was in Indianapolis that year. I sat in the nosebleeds of that summit and had the classic story of watching person after person walk across that stage and share their stories of how they'd found success in the business, and had that moment of, if they can do it, why not me? I came home from that summit and set massive goals, and I got to work. I used the resources that are available in the coach back office, and I figured it out. It was messy, but I figured out what I needed to do. By the end of that year, my team had worked so hard that we'd missed Premier by just 200 volume points. And what I learned in that process was that anything that I could set my mind to and was willing to work towards was within reach, and that I was so capable.
You know, I want to unpack your story a little bit, because people don't realize how they're being watched. And I don't mean that in a weird way. I just mean that everything that you do, if you don't see an immediate result, it doesn't mean that it's not working, right? It means that you're planting seeds. And so it seems as though you were following your now coach for how long?
Oh, I don't, like months. She had done multiple programs.
Months. Okay. And so during that time that you're following her, you're, number one, starting to build this trust with her, because you're like, wow, she does this every day. Like, she's so consistent.
Yeah.
And then two, you're starting to say, I could do this too. So it's twofold. It builds that confidence. So I love that story. And also, you and I talked about this topic, and the topic started out as, why am I always getting crickets? You know, I post something and there's crickets. Well, those crickets are watching.
Right.
Crickets are just like, what's going on here? So let's talk a little bit about how you post. And we talked about your confidence level too. Like, you didn't have an issue with posting. Like, you were reaching out to a stranger. You drove in a car with strangers.
Yeah.
You had no problem reaching out to a stranger and saying, I want to do this. So talk a little bit about how why this topic is so appropriate for you.
Yeah, I think it's because I first joined my coach, like I said, who was a complete stranger on the internet. And I think because that was my first introduction to Beachbody and to coaching, I never thought twice about building connections online. Because if my coach had never shown up and shared her journey, I never would have got started with Beachbody. Sitting here today, 95% of my team and even my customers have come from strangers on the internet that I have built a connection through showing up and building that trust. And I think back to, like, if I would have ever let the fear of connecting with new people online hold me back, I would never know the customers and the coaches on my team that I know today.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about how you reach out. You know, like, is there small talk? Like, what kind of reaching out do you do?
Yeah. So for me, small talk never came easy. It doesn't come easy in real life. It never really came easy on Instagram. I know for some people it works really well to, send like an introduction message to people. But for me, that never really felt aligned. So that I knew that if I wanted to build this business, and if I wanted to like build a business that I was obsessed with, I had to find something that was going to work for me. And I had to find something that felt authentic to me. And I wanted to do it in a way that genuinely grew my network, not just my follower count, so that I could convert those crickets into customers. So the way I do it is that I start by searching for accounts that are actually of interest to me. I do that so that when I reach out to people and when I go to build that connection, we have a mutual point of interest. So I do things like search local boutiques that I would actually shop at and wear the clothes. I search coffee shops or restaurants that I would visit. I also search location tags of places that I plan to visit. Again, so that when it comes time to actually build a conversation with this person or to initiate that connection, we have something in common to talk about. So for example, this summer I knew I was going on a trip to Nashville. So rather than going to Google and looking up reviews of where I should eat, where I should go out, where I should shop, I searched the location tag of Nashville or Broadway Street on Instagram. And then I followed people who had recently been to Nashville and who had posted photos there. And then I was able to message those people and say, hey, I saw you were recently in Nashville. I'm planning a trip there. Do you have any recommendations of where I should eat? Or do you have any recommendations of where I should stay? And that way, when I was building the connection with people, it was genuine. It was something we could actually have a conversation around. So it started with them, us talking about Nashville, but then those people would follow me back. And I know that they would see my other stories that were not just about Nashville, but about everything that I share, including Beachbody. Most of the time, my connection with people starts with something totally unrelated to Beachbody. Some people will respond, some people won't. But again, just like I was following my coach, I know that those people are seeing everything that I do, and that every time I show up on social media, it's planting the seed. I also think that because I reached out to that person first to initiate the connection, I've then opened the door for them to feel comfortable enough to reach out to me, whether it is asking about, how my trip to Nashville was, or what's the pre-workout you're using on your stories.
So I know that we're talking about converting the crickets, and it's like getting them to finally, participate and finally engage. And I think that you cannot convert unless you've connected first. So talk a little bit about what you do in your content that can convert the crickets.
For sure. So I do really two main things to convert those crickets. First, it starts when I'm actually creating my content. So I create content specifically for my person. When I sit down to create content, I think, what does my person struggle with? I think, what keeps my person awake at night? What is the thing that she's searching up on Instagram or TikTok or Pinterest when she's laying in bed scrolling at night? And then I also think, what content do I like to consume? Because I like to create the content that I would actually want to watch myself. Second thing I do to convert the crickets is I am constantly thinking about how can I add value to my audience before they are even a paying customer. So every day when I show up, whether it's in my stories or on my feed, I ask myself, how can I add value today? This isn't always something that's about Beachbody or even fitness and nutrition. Sometimes adding value is creating content for me that makes people laugh. Sometimes it's creating content about the clothes I'm wearing or what I'm reading. For me, I love to read. And so I found myself searching on social media, what book should I read next? I was watching TikToks. I was following bookstagrams on Instagram to do my own research. And so I started to share the things that I was reading on my story. And this can apply to anything. So after I've done my own research, I will then give the review myself and share that to my story as a way to add value to my audience. This makes it so that people are coming to my page not just because I'm a Beachbody coach, not just for the fitness and the nutrition, but because I add value. I share everything from the products that I use, the recipes for the food I eat, life hacks that actually make my life easier, with Beachbody programs, products, and coaching sprinkled in.
I'm so interested in what you're saying that I'm not paying attention. You and I talked about, this topic is about fear of posting, fear of posting, and then fear of nobody responding to your posts, right? So it's all around fear. And you had said to me, I didn't have any fear. I reached out to a stranger, so I know that this is the deal. So I loved that about you, because you're like, well, I don't know if I can really talk about this topic. But then when we started diving in further, and you said I had to show a vulnerability side of myself. And then you were like, yeah, at first it was a little weird. So it's like, you may think you're overly confident about posting, but in reality, every time you go out there with shared vulnerabilities, you're opening yourself up to either no one responds or people respond with weird responses. So talk a little bit about your fear or no fear connecting with people over the internet.
Yeah, I think I initially didn't have fear to reach out to my coach, but it's not that I didn't have fear around sharing online. I think it was that I learned very early on the power in being vulnerable. When I first started coaching, one of the first personal development books I read is a book called Daring Greatly by Brene Brown. And it helped me to learn to feel the fear, but do it anyways. I think that's where so many of us get in our own way is we feel the fear and feel like that has to make us stop. But I learned that it's a lot of the times that the fear is just a sign of us getting outside of our comfort zone. And that's a required part of growing a business. That book helped me to understand through vulnerability, like through sharing the parts of me that, felt vulnerable or felt very personal to share. It helped me to build connection and trust with those people who we would consider the silent stalkers. I did not start out showing up on social media from day one, sharing my entire life story. But slowly over time, I've been able to peel back the layers and let my audience get to know me, let them in, and show them a more and more authentic version of myself. Again, for me, it's not just sharing Beachbody. I think it's, we can put our workout pictures up there and put a picture up of our shake, but people want to know, like, what makes me me, right? And those are the things that we connect over with Beachbody programs and products sprinkled in and how they add value to my life. If someone isn't yet working out or eating healthy, I know it's really hard for us to connect on those workout videos or that picture of my shake. But it was when I start to share the behind the scenes of my life, the stuff that is like seemingly mundane or boring, that's what I started to build connections around. I always go back to reminding myself and my new coaches that it's not about being perfect, but it's about showing up and doing it scared and doing it unsure and doing it messy. Those are the things that people want to see. It's not the perfect that creates the connection with people. It's the real life stuff that someone else can look at and say, hey, that's just like me.
Yeah, I think silent stalker is actually the an interesting term because people are silently watching you and they are gathering information about you. So what would you say? I mean, at the end of the day, how do you move someone from just being a looker, just being a watcher, a stalker, to then, stepping out of their comfort zone and participating in somehow?
Yeah, for sure. I always go back to reminding myself and my new coaches that in order to convert that silent stalker or the person who's watching you, you have to be consistent. I've shown up every single day in my stories for 4.5 years. And I think that the longer that you do it, the more that you show up authentically yourself and share your real life behind the scenes, the easier that it gets to convert people who are watching. I know that every time I share about the boot camp or invite to the coaching opportunity, I'm planting the seed. That seed with someone may not bloom today or tomorrow or maybe even next month. But I know that if I continue to show up on social media, continue to share, and continue to add value, I will be the first person that they think of when they are ready, the same way that my coach was the first person I thought of when I was ready to draw that line in the sand too.
Yeah, I love that. And I think that there is a maturity in coaching. And I mean, 4 years as a coach, I think the 3-year mark is the sweet spot. So you have gone past that sweet spot, which means that you're getting more comfortable in your own skin. And also what I think when I interview people that are just starting out, they have such a different way of speaking about, or way of posting on social media. Their confidence really is less when they start out, but the more and more you do it and the more consistency, that fear of will I be good enough goes away. So superpowers, I mean, it's always my final question, but I ask this because like, what have you done in the last 4 years that has been a key success for you, has been a key factor in your success?
Yeah, I think when I think about my superpower, I think it is my grit. Because for me, I took quitting off the table when I was sitting in the nosebleeds of Summit 2 weeks into being a coach. I knew that sitting in that audience, I was going to make this business happen or I was going to go down trying. I started this business knowing that if I could even make a difference in one person's life, the way that mine had been changed, that would be worth all of the getting uncomfortable and all of the getting past my own fears to share online. Every time I face a bump in the road, I go back to that feeling of just helping one more person experience the same transformation that I did just over 4 years ago. Throughout my journey as a coach over the last 4 years, there have been a lot of challenges, just like any business. And I think my other superpower is that I'm able to turn those challenges into opportunities. Every time I'm faced with something like that challenge of missing Premier by the 200 team volume points, I use it as an opportunity to pave the way for the coaches that will join my team after me. And I add that as a tool to my toolbox. So I've learned through this business over the last 4 years that it's the times that I'm challenged most that are the most fulfilling and that are the things that I end up looking back on and am most proud of.
Yeah, I like what you said there, because I think when you're a new coach and you're challenged with something, you're like, you know what, this ain't worth it. I'm not doing this, you know. But when you mature in this business, you realize that that was made for you. You know, those challenges were made to see your grit, to see your sustainability in this business. So I love what you said. I think this was really a strong message, because we are still posting about our stories, about our transformations, and about our life. And that confidence grows over time.
Yes.
And those relationships build over time. I mean, you just went on a retreat with how many people were on your retreat?
There was about 10 of us.
Awesome. And those were like diamonds and above, or what was the requirement?
Diamonds and above, and we all connected through social media.
That is amazing. So you were all strangers at one point.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. That's what's the beauty of this business is turning people into friends, you know, turning those strangers into great friends, great teammates. I love what you said. And thank you so much, Shelby. It was a pleasure working with you.
Thank you so much.
You're very, very welcome. You guys heard it here. She's talking about how she converts the crickets. You know, crickets aren't so bad. Crickets are just, you know, silent stalkers, as she calls it. But they're people watching, and they're people watching your consistency to make sure what you're doing is meaningful to you, and it could be meaningful to them as well. So with that, take that for this week. That's your message for the week, and we'll see you here next week. Bye-bye.